What's up, everyone? My name is Demon God 3D, and welcome to 3 Creepy True Attic Horror Stories. So, this guy named is Mr. Nightmare, and I ain't gonna lie, his horror stories creep me the fuck out. I haven't seen his recent ones, but yeah, I haven't seen his recent ones, but when I see some of his when I see some of his other horror stories, I can't sleep. I can't. So here there's 3 creepy true attic horror stories, and shit that I hear about horror. See, I'm already fucking tongue-tied already, and I haven't started this shit. The stories that I've heard about addicts, nah, I don't fuck with addicts. I mean, I have lived in homes with addicts, but other than that, I don't fuck with addicts. I haven't been up in the attic. I mean, one time I've been up in my aunt's attic. One time I've been up in my aunt's attic, and I heard someone say, "Shh." What the fuck? I mean, I heard it clear as day. Shh. And then after that, nah, I don't fuck with addicts. Nah. I mean, I heard this shit clear as day, and then when I told my brother and my cousin, they laughed at me. I said, "Yo, did you see a fucking smile on my face? I'm not fucking kidding. I heard a shh, clear as day. Clear as day." So they ain't believe me worth shit, and I apologize. They ain't believe shit. So yeah, so 3 creepy true attic horror stories. Let's get in this shit. Here we go. Oh, by the way, I'm a horror fanatic. I love all types of horror shit. Blood, gore, anything that had to do with horror. I fucking love horror. I'm sorry. I'll shut up.
It was an ordinary evening like any other. I was in my room watching TV while my mom was downstairs making dinner. I had my door shut as I usually did because I like my privacy. My room actually connected to the attic because technically my room was never meant to be a bedroom, but it was made into one since I was one of 4 kids. So oftentimes I would hear little cracks in the ceiling just because the attic was right above my room, and there were heavy boxes putting constant pressure on the ceiling, so I was a little used to it. But there was one crack that was just too loud. So loud that it actually made me jump. I almost wanted to pull the attic door down and go up there, but I gave it the benefit of the doubt and assumed it was just pressure. That and the fact that I was also scared to go up there. I was scared of that attic my entire childhood, and I hated having it connected to my room. During dinner, I told my mom about the abnormally loud crack and expressed my fear to her. She told me there's nothing up there besides boxes, junk, and mice. She followed the mice part up with a smile to let me know she was kidding. The rest of the night after dinner, I stayed in my room watching TV and playing video games. Even after everyone went to bed, I was still playing, deep into the night. I had the volume lower so that I wouldn't wake anyone up. We had paper-thin walls in that house. I thought I heard another crack in the ceiling. Not as loud as the one from earlier, but still concerning enough to make me pause the game and listen. There was nothing now. I was having a bit of an adrenaline rush, so I grabbed the stepladder and pulled down the attic door. There was no light up there, you just had to use a flashlight to navigate. I didn't go in though, and just peeked my head in through the opening. There was nothing I could see except piles on top of piles of boxes, so it seemed like it really was just the weight of one of the boxes putting pressure in the ceiling. I planned on telling my mom that we should check it out the next day. I was a bit relieved as I went back to playing video games. I turned the game off about an hour later and finally decided to go to sleep. After a while, though, I started to hear something from above me. It wasn't the regular cracks I was used to hearing. These were more like thumps. They were constant and moving. It literally sounded like footsteps. The thump stopped right above the attic door, and there was silence. I stared at that attic door so intently, waiting for something to happen. But when I saw the door slowly begin to lift, it didn't feel real. Even though I was expecting something to happen, I wasn't prepared for the door to actually open. I got out of bed as quietly as I could and tiptoed to my mom's room. When I explained, she nudged me to stay in her room as she left to get my brothers. After a minute of waiting in silence, I heard a commotion from my room. It was my two older brothers yelling aggressively, and my mom screaming at them to come here. Apparently whoever was in the attic was gone though, because both of my brothers went up there and didn't find anyone. My mom also heard the noises in the attic, but didn't know what to think of it until I came and told her about the door opening. I didn't hear any noises anymore after that day, except for the usual occasional cracks in the ceiling. For a while, I rented out a small single-family house in a town close to my job. It was only a temporary thing. I only planned on being there for a few months at most. The landlord was hard to get along with because he seemed off, so that didn't help things really. It was the first week of my being there. Since it was just me living in the house, I didn't need a lot of space to store things. The house did have an attic, but I never felt the need to go up there. I just stored mostly everything in either the garage, the spare rooms, or the closets. Not that there was much living space, though. One day, though, I did kind of want to see how much space was up there, so I tried to pull the attic door down, but it didn't budge. Then I noticed there was a tiny lock on the attic door. I was never given a key by the landlord, so the next day I called him and asked about the lock. He told me the attic was off limits and was never included in the price of rents. I wasn't exactly sure if he could legally do that, but I was paying a good price and I didn't want to mess it up.
That attic could stay locked up too.
The next morning I went to my fridge to grab some milk and then the cereal from the cabinet. As I took the cap off the milk carton, I questioned if the amount of milk in the carton had gone down. Surely I hadn't drank that much. Had I? I guess I took a late-night trip to the kitchen that I didn't remember. The next morning, as usual, I came to the kitchen to have breakfast. Everything seemed to be normal, but come lunchtime, it seemed like some of my cold cuts were missing. I had to start to wonder if I was going crazy or if something was actually going on here. Why did it seem like some of my food was disappearing every day? I actually started to look into buying a camera system for the house on the Best Buy website. I did some research on cameras before going to sleep. That night I woke up around 4 and really had to pee. I tried to hold it and just sleep it off, but the urge was too much, so I eventually got out of bed to head to the bathroom. But on the way to the bathroom is the attic door in the hallway. And at first I thought I was seeing things, but after rubbing my eyes, I could see that the attic door was really open. All that ran through my mind were the words, "What the fuck?" There was a pull-down ladder leading up to the attic. I had to see what was up there. I took a bright, heavy-duty flashlight from my room and went up there. The flashlight was so bright, it lit up a huge chunk of the attic. It was a very big attic for the size of the house. I was surprised. But what surprised me even more was the twin bed tucked away in one corner of the attic, with a clothing hamper next to it. There were also clothes scattered all over the attic. But perhaps most disturbing was the TV mounted on the wall that had my bedroom on display. I guess I hadn't noticed the light from the TV screen because I was holding the flashlight the whole time. But I knew I had to get out of the house. But someone was at the entrance of the attic now, by the attic door. First, only their head was visible, but their bodies slowly emerged into the attic until they were crawling towards me. I was able to distinguish the face to be that of the landlord. His expression was so dry and emotionless, it still haunts me to this day. As he crawled over to me, his eyes opened wide, he kept putting one finger to his lips as he said, "Shh." He didn't speak any words. He only went, "Shh, shh." It was a miracle that I was able to get around him in time before he could get to me. I went down the ladder and pushed it up, closing the attic door. I knew he would be out shortly, so I took my phone from the nightstand and ran for it. I ran outside and called the police. The landlord wasn't there when the police arrived, but I had all of his information, and he was found the next day at his brother's house in a nearby rundown town. I moved to an apartment 2 days later, and when I plan on buying a house, I know now I'm going to avoid any houses with attics.
Good boy. Good. Sounds like me. All the way. All the way.
When I was little, my brother, sister, and I always played hide and seek when we were home alone because it made us feel like we had full access to the house and any room could be a hiding place. We always did one seeker, two hiders. The first person to get caught loses the round, or if the seeker didn't find either hider in 5 minutes, they lost the round, and the first to 3 points won. I lost the first round. I still remember that somehow, and we were on the second round. I was hiding again. My sister was seeking. My brother and I dispersed from the living room, which was considered the starting room, and I knew the perfect place to hide. Somewhere none of us ever hid before. The attic. It was just a place none of us ever thought as a hiding spot. Maybe I could start using it as my usual hiding spot, I thought to myself. It was a step-in attic attached to a big closet, so there was no ladder or anything. I shut the attic door behind me and tried my best to navigate the attic in the dark. I got about halfway across when I found a box and a big black bag that seemed to be perfect to hide behind. Now I wait, I thought in my head. For some reason, the act of sitting in a dark place doing nothing never got boring when you tagged it under the activity of hide and seek. I felt a rush the entire time, anxious that I'd hear the attic door open and my sister rushing inside. I was kind of subconsciously counting the minutes, even though I wasn't actually counting second for second. It was too dark to check my timer. I figured 4 minutes had passed, so it was almost time to go back downstairs. But just then, there was the sound of a big bag being crumpled. Wait, I thought, did I not notice one of them sneak in here? Maybe it was my brother, but then again, maybe it was my sister. In fear of it being my sister, I didn't want to call anything out. If I just waited out the timer, I'd be good. And sure enough, a few seconds later, the pocket timer started beeping, signaling the 5 minutes was up. So I safely called out, "We win." But whoever was crumpling the bag didn't reply. They did, however, stop crumpling the bag to create an uncomfortable silence. One of them were messing with me, I knew it. I went back to the attic door and turned on the light. As the light came on, I briefly saw the top of someone's head ducked behind a wall of boxes to my left. It was short hair, it had to be my brother, so I called his name in a mocking kind of tone as I walked over to the wall of boxes. I was preparing to jump over it and scare him, but I wasn't the one doing the scaring in the end. On my way over to the boxes, someone stood up from behind the boxes. Not my brother, but a full-grown man, rather. He had his finger on his lips and said, "Don't freak out." That's exactly what I did. I shrieked like a little girl and left the attic in a hurry. I think he followed me to the door and stopped because he didn't chase me down the stairs. My brother and sister were already in the living room. I told them to run outside because there's someone in the attic. I guess they believed me because they hurried behind. All we could do was run to our neighbor's house, who called the police and then our parents for us. I know it's a cliche ending, but the cops did show up and the intruder was gone, which unfortunately meant I could never actually prove to my family or anyone that there was someone in the attic that day. But I can assure you, it's true and it did happen.
I would never, ever, ever, ever hide in an attic. Who hides in attics? I mean, well, some people hide in attics, but if the attic is dark in the first place and have a little bit of light, I mean, really, why would you hide in the attic when you know it got no light? If it has light, it has a little itty bit of light. Little itty bitty light. I mean, no, you just don't do that. No. Me? Nah. Never, ever. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. And if you want to check out the rest of the videos, his name is Mr. Nightmare. I'll put it in the description box. I might put this link in the description box. I might put this original video in the box below. If you want to see it for yourself, which you already saw for yourself. But if you want to see it with no commentary, no nothing, I'll put it for you in the description box below. If I don't forget, because sometimes I have to forget for mine. Anyway, you got there the 3 creepy true attic horror stories. That's the reason I don't fuck with attics. Nah, not me. Nah. Oh, and another thing I meant to tell y'all. I heard a shh in the attic, and after the shh, I heard as clear as day my name, Paris. I said, what the fuck? Boy, man, I climbed down them attic stairs so quick. I raised that thing back up. I almost broke it. My cousin and brother were like, the fuck wrong with you? I said, nothing, don't worry about it. Then when I went to bed, I heard the most loudest shh, the most terrifying, horrifying, loudest, deadliest, loudest scream I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm in a house by myself. I don't know who the fuck that was, but I'm gonna go ahead and this because I'm getting a little freaked out now. I love you guys. My name is Demon God 3D. I love you guys. I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. I'm sorry. I'm freaked out. I'm gonna see y'all in the next video, in my future videos. I'm gonna see y'all later. I'm sorry I keep saying that, but this is for real. I love you guys. I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. Holla at your boy. Peace. I'm out. I'll see y'all later.